So it looks like they are making Crow great again. It is back in the top 20. Crow coin is pumping, absolutely going crazy. We're going to talk about what could potentially happen in the upcoming months into 2026. So let's jump into it in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow me on X as well if you're watching over there. So let's actually jump over. We're going to take a look at CoinMarketCap right now. Sitting in 19th spot, we have Crow up about 24.63% in the last 24 hours and 82% in the last 7 days, sitting at about 26.2 cents. This thing has been absolutely on fire, and for good reason. The newly announced partnership with Donald Trump and the newly formed company that they're basically creating here, and focusing on buying Crow, and Crow will be offered in a form of a fund as well. So this is a ton of big bullish news. Where does this leave holders? Where are we going to see, are we going to see, rewards from this, especially those of us who have been here for years? I'm a Crow holder. I am a locked up Crow holder. I have an Indigo visa that I'd purchased, a few years ago, and I've solidified my position in Crow. I have a pretty decent position. It is one of my larger holdings in my portfolio, and I've just been kind of sitting on it. I've just been letting it kind of sit there and smolder, if you will, because the price, as we know, was not doing the greatest. But now, since this information was announced by Chris on crypto, he's the CEO of crypto.com, this has been an absolute transformation. So what's the community's view on Crow performance 2026? He asked this on X. Under the following scenarios, we have one scenario: a $200 million existing SPAC cash deployed to buy Crow after transaction completes. So that is kind of the first scenario. Number two, 420 million SPAC cash, including warrants proceeds deployed by Crow, deployed to buy Crow, or 5.42 billion cash plus warrants plus fully utilized line of credit deployed to buy Crow. What's your view in each of these scenarios? So, and he also shared, this is the information that we got yesterday that I brought to you guys. This was the acquisition that had, this was the partnership that had been announced yesterday. So Trump Media and Technology Group and Crypto.com announced that they have entered into a definitive agreement for a business combination to establish Trump Media Group Crow Strategy Incorporated. It's a digital asset treasury company focused on acquisition of the native cryptocurrency token of the Crow ecosystem. So CrowCoin, Yorkville Acquisition Corp is a special purpose acquisition company, or an SPAC, sponsored by Yorkville Acquisition Sponsor LLC. They have access to a bunch of different funds, one being lines of credit, etc. So this to me speaks sort of like MicroStrategy, but for Crow. And this is something that has been, everybody has just been blowing up about, because it's just been absolutely crazy. So we're going to jump over here and take a look at it. This was a great article put together by Being Crypto. 3 possible scenarios for Crow's performance in 2026. I just have a couple of points to bring to you guys. So the 6.42 billion Crow acquisition is divided up into a few different kind of scenarios, and kind of if things kind of go right. Sorry about that. I've got cat hair all over me. I had to take my cat to the vet earlier, and she just absolutely like went poof. Anyways, so future buying power is contingent on warrants and credit lines. So that's how big corporations, companies do buy, acquire funds, right? Like they don't go out with cash in their pockets and buy things. They usually, have something, in contingent, or they have some sort of buying power, but it's not usually using cash, right? These scenarios range widely from 200 million in existing cash to 420 million if warrants are exercised, and a maximum of 5.42 billion if credit lines are fully drawn and combined with other financing. So it's not like they're going to go jump out there and buy $5 billion worth of Crow. That's just not happening, but they are going to be purchasing Crow incrementally. Now, some traders like Francis Wong argue that the mid-tier scenario, this is not the lowercase or the absolute moonshot. This is the probably going to happen, it's going to at least double Crow's price from current levels. And I agree with that. Now, the third scenario could potentially trigger a shock rally fueled by institutional confidence in retail and Kronos ETF demand. The third scenario, involving 5.42 billion in capital deployment, would fundamentally alter Crow's liquidity and market structure. That would absolutely, make Crow's value go exponentially higher. So it's the least certain given its reliance on external financing. However, we know that Trump likes to make things happen, so I'm not really ruling this out. However, it is the least most likely to happen. Now, taking a look at the roadmap, what's going on here is aligning with Crow's roadmap for 2026. 2026 roadmap has branded the golden age of on-chain dominance, and it's emphasizing larger scale user acquisition, infrastructure upgrades that reduce gas costs by nearly tenfold and enable zero point 0.5 second block times. Very, very fast and cheap to transact on. Crow's strategy centers on three growth drivers: compliant tokenization tools accessible to AI systems, deep integration with mainstream payment rails via crypto.com, and unlocking institutional grade liquidity through Crow ETFs, ETPs, and Vault products. So that's pretty much what we're looking at there. And I know that people were really, really upset about the burn tokens being reversed. I was one of them as well. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I knew there had to have been a reason, because Chris isn't going to, he's a smart man, and he's not going to undo a promise that was made without at least somewhat of a good reason behind it. Am I saying it's right? No, I'm saying that there must have been a reason why they did it. So they basically earlier this year they reversed the 70 billion Crow token burn, which was initially it was initially told it was going to be a permanent ban or burn, sorry, increasing the token supply back by 70%. So they reversed the burn, basically put the tokens back into circulation, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, pissed off a lot of the Crow community, right? That's really what happened. So taking a look at these three different scenarios for Crow in 2026, um, even if we just go with the one that's most likely to happen, probably 3x Crow, it's going to put a big drive for demand on the Crow token and the Crow coin, in my opinion. So I'm very, very interested to see what is going to take place here, how they are going to kind of, manage this company. But I do know, and I did report this yesterday in the press announcement. I looked into what Chris was posting. Actually, here I'll bring that back up and share that with you guys here. I believe it was. Let's see here. Sorry about that. No, it was. There was a point here. He shared. I think maybe it was at the top here. But anyways, it talked about. Here we go. This talked about token locks. So is that even in here? 4-year lockups for Trump Media and Technology Group. So this is protecting that big investment, right? And it's not protecting the investment for them, so to speak, as more as it is protecting it for the community. Because I don't know anybody who's okay with somebody buying that amount of tokens and holding them and being able to sell them on a whim, right? We just don't want that. Normally, when these big purchases happen, this goes into like a vesting schedule, which is what they're doing, and I'm really happy for this because it takes a little bit of the worry off Crow holders right now. So it's a very reasonable expectation here. It means there's 4-year lockups for Trump Media and Tech Group, Yorkville, and Crypto.com, and Make Crow Great Again. So all the management basically involved in this is a 12-month full lockup and then partial unlocks every 6 to 12 months. So it's basically going to be a vesting schedule. They'll be able to take out a little, a certain amount of Crow here and there and be able to do with that as they wish, which is very reasonable in my opinion. I think that that is something that is needed because we need that stability in the price as well in order to gain retail and institutional you need to be comfortable with it, right? You need that transparency as well. So that's pretty much what's going on there. I'm very interested to see how this unfolds, how this all happens. But for now, I'm enjoying the gains in my Crow wallet. So let me know what you guys think down below. Is this a good idea? Even besides the whole burn tokens coming back into circulation, I know I wasn't happy about that, and neither were a ton of other people in the Crow community. But here we are now. So let's see what happens. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and I'll make sure to keep you guys updated, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.